Michael Douglas's expensive divorce settlement makes history. These divorce settlements show what really happened. Tiger Woods and Ellen Nordegren, $750 million. After Tiger Woods' infidelity with many women was exposed, he and his then-wife, Ellen Nordegren, divorced in 2010. For their divorce, Tiger handed over $750 million to Nordegren. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, $400 million. Since Jolie filed for divorce from Pitt, the couple has met with a private judge. She requested full physical and joint legal custody of their children. It's too soon to tell definitively, but some say the divorce will cost $400 million. Kevin Costner and Cindy Silva, $80 million. 16 years and 3 children into their marriage, the Hollywood couple divorced because of Costner's alleged infidelity. The actor ended up paying $80 million to Silva in the divorce. He later admitted that he had also fathered a child with socialite Bridget Rooney outside of their marriage. Alec and Jocelyn Wildenstein, $2.5 billion. After her divorce from wealthy French businessman Alec Wildenstein, Jocelyn was awarded $2.5 billion. Famed for spending $2 million on plastic surgery to preserve her youth, Jocelyn had hoped that changing her appearance would keep her husband by her side. Michael and Deandra Douglas, $45 million. After Michael Douglas and Deandra married in 1977, they had a son the following year. However, their marriage was not meant to last, as Deandra filed for divorce in 1995. By the end of the divorce proceedings, Deandra walked away with $45 million, half of what Michael was worth. Robert and Sheila Johnson, $400 million. After 33 years of marriage, Robert Johnson and Sheila Johnson separated in 2002. 2 years before their divorce, in the year 2000, Robert sold BET to Viacom for $3 billion, of which Sheila ended up receiving $400 million. Dr. Phil McGraw and Debbie Higgins, approximately $1 million. Dr. Phil's marriage to his high school sweetheart, Debbie Higgins, failed after only 3 years. The divorce cost approximately $1 million, quite a lot for someone who didn't have much money then. Higgins now refers to herself as Dr. Phil's secret first wife. Andre Agassi and Brooke Shields, $130 million. Andre Agassi, a tennis player, and Brooke Shields, an actress/model, have had one of the most famous divorces in terms of monthly payout. They settled on $845,715 per month. Bernie and Slavica Ecclestone, $1 billion. Bernie and Slavica Ecclestone made headlines recently for their whooping $1 billion divorce settlement. However, that didn't stop determined Slavica from turning it into an even bigger profit. She was able to make $1.6 billion from investments. Reba McEntire and Narvel Blackstock, $47.5 million. In 2015, Reba McEntire and Narvel Blackstock's divorce came as a surprise to fans. However, the two are still friendly with one another. It's unclear how they divided their assets since there was no prenuptial agreement. Michael Strahan and Jean Mugli, $15 million. Michael Strahan and Mugli met in 1994 and married 5 years later in 1999. However, their relationship has been anything but smooth sailing. After filing for divorce, Mugli was awarded $15 million from their settlement and now receives $18,000 per month in child support payments. Michael and Juanita Jordan, $168 million. After years of unsuccessfully trying to make the marriage work, Michael and Juanita Jordan decided on a divorce. As part of their settlement, Juanita received $168 million, in addition to the couple's 7-acre Chicago mansion and custody of their children, Jeffrey, Marcus, and Jasmine. Rupert Murdoch and Anna-Marie Torv, $1.2 billion. After 32 years of marriage and 3 children, this couple split up in 1999. Murdoch earned a net worth of $8 billion, while Torv received $1.2 billion from the divorce settlement. Heidi Klum and Seal, $70 billion. According to Heidi, Seal's anger became so frightening that it caused their children emotional distress. After Heidi Klum left him, her broken heart was matched with an empty bank account. Although they had a prenuptial agreement, she still gave Seal $70 million in the divorce settlement. Mel Gibson and Robin Moore, $425 million. Robin filed for divorce from Mel after 26 years together following his DUI arrest in 2006. The couple didn't have a prenuptial agreement, so Robin was entitled to half of Mel's $425 million fortune in the divorce. Frank and Jamie McCourt, $130 million. Frank McCourt, known for being the owner of Dodger Stadium and Fox Entertainment Group, divorced his wife, Jamie McCourt, in 2011. Despite Frank's success as an entrepreneur, the divorce ended up costing him a total of $130 million. Ron Perelman and Ellen Barkin, $20 million. In the year 2000, the businessman married Barkin, who would become his fourth wife. Unfortunately, their marriage only lasted 6 years and ended in an expensive divorce settlement for Ellen. She reportedly received over $20 million after selling off jewelry that Ron had given her during their marriage. Greg Norman and Laura Andrazi, $103 million. You would think that after the golf legend left Laura Andrazi in the 2008 for fellow tennis star Chris Evert, couples would work harder to stay together, especially when big payouts are at stake. But instead, he was forced to pay Andrazi an estimated $103 million. Johnny Carson and Joanna Holland, $20 million. Johnny Carson's been married 4 times, but his most successful marriage, financially, was to model and socialite Joanna Holland. When they divorced, Carson walked away with $20 million as part of their settlement. At the time, he was the highest paid TV personality, earning $15 million annually. Adnan Khashoggi and Soraya Khashoggi, $874 million. Saudi Arabian billionaire Adnan Khashoggi was once thought to be one of the richest men in the world. When his 20-year-old partner, Soraya Khashoggi, divorced him, she was awarded $874 million. Colin Firth and Livia Gigioli, approximately $12.5 million. After 22 years of marriage, Firth and Gigioli are going through their divorce. As a result, half the actor's net worth will most likely go to the Italian producer. The couple decided to end things 2 years ago after Gigioli had an affair with an Italian journalist and childhood friend. Even though they tried to work past the infidelity and raise their sons together, it seems that wasn't enough and they're getting divorced. Kelsey and Camille Grammer, $30 million. Kelsey and Camille Grammer got married in 1997 without a prenuptial agreement. They had 2 children but divorced after 14 years in February 2011. Camille went on to be part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and was awarded $30 million from Kelsey as part of their divorce settlement. John and Beverly Charman, $95 million. When Charman married his high school sweetheart, Beverly, he was poor. But within 29 years of marriage, he became the 8th richest businessman in London. Beverly gave up her job to raise their children full-time, so she received $95 million when the couple separated. Samathur Lee Khan and Florence Sang-Chi Wing, $154 million. In 2008, billionaire Samathur Lee Khan divorced his wife Florence because she refused to get an abortion. As a result, a Hong Kong judge ruled that the wealthy real estate mogul must pay his ex-wife $154 million. Roman and Irina Malandina, $300 million. From 1991 to 2007, Irina Malandina married Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich. The divorce settlement included $300 million in cash and luxurious homes in both Moscow and London. Jesse Williams and Aaron Drake Lee, approximately $4 million. Williams and Drake Lee's divorce was confirmed recently. The Grey's Anatomy actor filed for the split from his real estate broker wife. No settlement details have been released, though it's estimated that the cost will be around $4 million. Eddie Murphy and Nicole Mitchell Murphy, $15 million. Although they put on a happy front, the couple divorced in 2006 after nearly 20 years together. Eddie Murphy then dated and had a child with former Spice Girl Mel B. Nicole went on to date Michael Strahan. Eddie is dating Paige Butcher, and the couple has a child together. Ted Danson and Casey Coates, $30 million. After meeting in 1976, Ted Danson and Casey Coates were together for 15 years, until Danson had an affair with Whoopi Goldberg. In Hollywood's most expensive divorce settlement, Danson paid Coates $30 million. Harrison Ford and Melissa Mathison, $118 million. Even 17 years of marriage and 2 children couldn't save this doomed Hollywood couple. Ford and Mathison divorced in 2001, and with no prenuptial agreement, she ended up getting away with $118 million of the actor's cash. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, $6.8 million. Amber accused Depp of being abusive, and eventually a settlement was decided on over $6 million. Amber vowed to donate the money to charities instead of keeping it for herself. Even though the couple never had children together, Depp has 2 from previous relationships, one of which is model Lily Rose Depp. Rupert Murdoch and Wendy Deng, $1.8 million. News Corporation CEO Rupert Murdoch didn't wait around after his divorce was finalized, marrying Wendy Deng only 17 days later. However, by June 2013, he changed his mind about her and filed for divorce, receiving $1.8 billion in the settlement. James Cameron and Linda Hamilton, $50 million. After Cameron had an affair while working on Titanic, the couple took a few days to break up, and Linda received $50 million in their settlement. Alec Baldwin and Kim Basinger, approximately $3 million. Kim Basinger and Alec Baldwin were married for 9 years, had a daughter, then divorced. The divorce was tough. Kim blocked Alec's visitation rights to their daughter, but they reportedly settled for $3 million. Steve and Elaine Wynn, $741 million. Not once, but twice, Steve Wynn failed to make a hit with the same woman. In 2010, he and Elaine divorced for the second time, costing him $741 million. Paul McCartney and Heather Mills, $48.6 million. Paul McCartney and Heather Mills married in Ireland, spending $3.2 million on their wedding. Unfortunately for him, he had to pay her $48.6 million settlement when they divorced, proving that sometimes love doesn't last forever, especially when money's involved. Vladimir Potanin and Natalia Potanina, $7 billion. After being married for 30 years, Vladimir Potanin and Natalia Potanina divorced in 2013. The divorce was convoluted, with Natalia receiving approximately $7 billion. Reportedly, Vladimir is one of the richest men in Russia, worth an estimated $14 billion. Michael Polsky and Maya Polsky, $184 million. Michael Polsky is an internationally renowned businessman and former owner of Skygen. His 2003 divorce from his wife Maya proved very costly, to the tune of $184 million. Charles Fipke and Marlene Fipke, $200 million. Charles Fipke's discovery of the first diamonds in Canada's Northwest Territories led him to become one of the richest men after divorcing Marlene. However, his divorce settlement cost close to $200 million, making it one of the biggest divorce settlements ever in Canada. Gwen Stefani and Gavin Rossdale, $2.5 million. Though Gwen and Gavin were once a happy, successful couple, their 20-year marriage ended after 13 years. Their settlement is estimated to have cost around $25 million. Since the split, Gwen has gone on to date Blake Shelton. Demi Moore and Bruce Willis, $90 million. Though Demi and Bruce were married for 11 years and had 3 daughters, they divorced in the year 2000. Since the divorce, Bruce has said that he feels like he failed as a father and husband. In contrast to her ex-husband's sentiments, Demi moved on quickly with a younger man, Ashton Kutcher, and received $90 million from the settlement. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver, $375 million. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver's split was nasty. After 25 years of marriage, Shriver filed for divorce after news of his affair with their housekeeper. They never had a prenup agreement, which resulted in Shriver getting $375 million and custody of their children. Harold Hamm and Sue Ann Arnold, $974.8 million. Harold Hamm and Sue Ann Arnold's legal battle ended in 2012 after 24 years of marriage when Sue accepted Mann's settlement check of $974.8 million. Teddy Landau and Michelle Branch, approximately $300,000. After being married to her bass player Teddy Landau for nearly 11 years, Grammy Award winner Michelle Branch got a divorce that cost just under $300,000. Alan and Tawana Iverson, $32 million. After being married for 24 years and having 5 children with a man who amassed a $150 million debt, Tawana decided to file for divorce. In divorce court, Alan shouted to his wife, "I don't even have money for a cheeseburger," to which Tawana responded by handing him $61. After pleading for her back, Tawana withdrew the papers, but not for long. She had second thoughts and refiled in 2013. She was awarded everything in the postnuptial agreement, staggering $32 million.